I'll finish this some other time. Star Trek.
Yeah, so we're gonna be watching Operation Annihilate,
Oh,
Oh yeah,
again.
it's the final one of the season.
right? Which Saint has seen very recently.
Yeah, I watched
We
everything on
haven't. We
Friday.
didn't get to do it. Yeah,
Right.
I'll,
So
last week.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah,
I don't care.
cool. Great, great. Because yeah.
I've got to sit down and update the spreadsheet this weekend. I don't have like at all anything for season 2 ready yet.
Oh yeah. Well, and so season 2. I am thinking. I don't think we will record until December. I would like to get. I don't even know if I will get everything out that I'm sitting
That's fine.
on before December. So, but I want to focus on writing for now.
Yeah, you want to
So just so
get your
you guys
novel out.
know, yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah,
Honestly,
I've got at least
I'm
like
currently
4 more to edit.
we're currently we just brought in a new guy and I'm being moved to like full-time hours, like being transitioned into that. So like
Oh, is that
I'm
a
down to take a
congratulations?
break. Yeah, it is, because holy shit,
good.
do I need not 20 hours a week?
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we all got bills to pay.
Well, when I got the job, like I didn't actually see the job posting. I asked in the store if they were hiring, so I didn't know what they were hiring for fully.
Mm.
And so they were only hiring part-time for like 20, 24 hours a week. And I'm like, that is not enough. And so I asked what the requirements were so I could go look for a second job. And then the guy quit. So I got handed all of his hours. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
yep.
now I've been approved for full-time and they've just started giving me my full-time hours. But it is going to be a transition. It's going to be an adjustment because I'm not used to standing on my feet for 40 hours a week.
Man, they don't even give you like a bench or a stool or something.
We've got like a couple of chairs in the back, and that's fine if I'm on the computer, but like I'm not supposed to be sitting around doing nothing. If I'm sitting in the chairs in the back, I've got to be doing something in the chairs in the back. So it's mostly try to stand up and walk around a lot during the day. I've
Yeah.
got something
Look
fucked
for
with one of
stuff
my
to clean.
heels. Yeah, a lot of that. And I've got something fucked with one of my heels, so it bugs me to stand too long. So I've got to build that tolerance back up, you know?
Yeesh.
It is what it is. I'm not upset by it.
Yeah, I mean, I just figure, you see it everywhere, but you figure that if someone is just like at the counter dealing with customers, like one after the other, like that's customer,
Oh yeah.
customer,
No.
take the order, like they would give you a stool or something you could just sit on
Nope.
while you were there. But
We have an
American
anti-fatigue mat.
Whoa.
American businesses do not do that.
Yeah.
It's an anti-fatigue mat, but that's all. That's all I've got. Like a barista would get at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And since we work alone, the way I had to put it to like the new guy that got hired is like, no, your lunch and your breaks, you take it like under restaurant style mentality because we're alone. So you take it where you can take it. A customer comes in, you help with the customer, then you go take the rest of it. It's like my lunch will frequently be a 2-hour ordeal because like I'll start it and then we have customers coming in and I might get like, a consistent, 5 minutes. Last shift I even had it came up where it was like, it took me an hour to have my lunch, and the first 15 minutes of my lunch break was at the front counter dealing with a customer, because as soon as I went on lunch, within 30 seconds, somebody was in the store. They left, I took a bite of my food, and had to get up and deal with another customer.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it is what it is. You do what you can, but it is what it is.
I would like to hear about the anti-fatigue mat. This is a new concept to me. I was a barista.
I've heard of this too.
Yeah, they're just a very thick mat, so you have something to stand on behind the front cash. That's not the concrete floor.
Oh, kind of fluffy,
It's
kind
just,
of soft.
it's just it's a squishy mat.
Does it prevent fatigue? Do you find?
I find it helps because it's something softer, so my feet don't hurt as much. But it's also the size of my front counter. Like it's literally just like enough for me to stand on it. If I shift at all,
Okay.
and I'm a person who doesn't stand still. I move a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if I shift at all, I'm off of it. Yeah. Anyway, so actual stuff for the recording. Would you like me to start on details, or do you want to go over other stuff first?
Do you have any memories of this? Do you know what we're getting into?
I feel like I should, but I don't.
It's like gummy space amoeba boogers.
Yeah, it's some bug in people that they have to stop.
Yeah, it gets in people. Yeah, if you don't have any specific memory of related to this, then yeah, I would love to hear the details.
So it's Operation Annihilate has been mentioned. It's directed by Herschel Doherty or Dougherty. I've heard that name spelled. It's said a couple of ways
Yeah,
now.
both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, written by Stephen W. Karabatsos. I don't think we've had either of these guys
No,
before.
I don't think so.
They're both brand new. The original air date was April 13th of 1967 with a 7.5 out of 10 from IMDb and the last episode of season 1 of the original series.
All right, and I'm not sure if I was recording when I discussed that it may be a moment before season 2, but although it probably won't be the way that I'm releasing them. But yeah, this is also the final episode of season 1 of The Least Ready Room, a podcast about pot and Star Trek.
So much pot.
Hot Trek.
Yeah, so we can begin unless either of you would like to add anything. Hello, Michelle's Ghost. Michelle's Ghost was haunting my Discord for most of October. It was actually quite spooky.
I'm actually going to step away in about 5 minutes, so you can go ahead and hit play, but I'll be
In
probably
and
a
out.
little quiet for a while. Yeah, I'll be in and out before the end of the episode ends anyway.
All right, have a productive time. Hello, and welcome once again to The Least Ready Room, a podcast about pod and Star Trek, with me, Dave, Chris, Saint, Weebs, and a variety of other guest stars. Today we're going to talk to Chris and Saint about the final episode of Season 1, which is Operation Annihilate. So yeah, like was mentioned in that intro, Saint did watch this twice. So I have some recordings of just him, but in order for it not to be too redundant, I'm going to play going through the episode with Saint and Chris right after we watched it. You know, not now, but in the intro. That intro was recorded right before we watched this episode. You probably could have ascertained that. But anyway, yeah, afterwards, I'm still going to go through the audio file from just me and Saint. And if there are funny bits or bits where we are talking about certain things that did not get covered with Chris, I'll include them at the end. And then we have the question of the week, and then I will say goodbye and talk a little bit about what our plans are, because this is, in fact, the end of Season 1 of The Least Ready Room. I feel like there might be a couple bonus episodes before we really get into Season 2. We're going to start watching Season 2 in 2025. Remember when I said we might start, in the intro I said we might start doing it in December, but you know what? Whatever. I'm caught up. This is it. We did Season 1. I'm putting this out, and I've edited it, and we've done it. All right, there's Season 1. We watched Season 1 of TOS, and we'll watch some more things. Like I said, there's a few things we were thinking about that we might have some commentary on, some bonus things for this season, and then yeah, in January at some point we'll get into Season 2, and yeah, Star Trek, whatever, we'll talk about it. And yeah, so let's go. Here's Operation Annihilate. Thanks for being here. So that is Operation Annihilate.
Yeah, I remember it more now that I've seen it than what I remembered before. Always.
You think Picard would have annihilated an entire race of alien life forms?
I think if he had to, I don't think he would have been as like I don't think it would have been as much of a like, yeah, let's do that now situation. But
yeah, right now, today, annihilate him.
Yeah, I think it'd be something that would chew him up a little bit. But I do think he'd do it
if it came down to it. This life form has destroyed several whole planets, with civilizations on them, not just colonies.
Well, and on top of that, this is a case of it is that greater good thing, all right? Like, Picard will do the greater good thing when he's got to, because like it's one of these two races is all going to die. Which one is more? Like, which one is the one that we want to save? You know?
Yeah. Hi, Saint.
Yeah.
Hi. Are you talking about the ethics of wiping out a race of malignant?
Would Picard do it? Would Picard do it? And therefore, the ethics have to come into it because Picard is a highly ethical person.
You might think about it for a minute, but on the other hand, this is a species, organism, something.
One organism? Question mark.
Yeah, question mark, that thrives on torturing
Pain.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying like I think he'd do it. I think he might not be as gung ho for it as Kirk tends to get on stuff, but for
Yeah.
sure I think Picard would do it. You know?
Yeah. He might ponder the ethics for a hot minute. He'd be like, "Is this wrong?
Yeah.
Well, they're not leaving me much of a choice."
He'd need to go read a
Yeah,
book
that's
and talk to Riker, and he'd have to go
yeah,
talk to Guinan.
Yeah. They're not
and it's
they're
probably
not
Data.
they're not the hive mind that comes up and is like, "Pretty please join our hive mind. There are benefits and you know, good feelings if you subsume your mind within the body of our
Yeah.
hive mind or
That's only
whatever."
with that's only for technologically superior races, and you know it.
They
Yeah.
were all of the races we met this season were technologically, not really, but a great deal of them were so advanced you can't understand our technological superiority.
Yeah. We're just flying around in the galaxy and some off by
Some
ourselves
weird
doing
orb
technologically superior shit. Or
doing
maybe,
Q shit.
yeah, maybe I've got a whole fucking planet that I'm flying around like a chariot.
Run a theme park for Qs.
Yeah.
In this
Energy.
episode, I got a bunch of weird clones, weird goo clones coming out of a factory. We're dressing them up as knights and princesses. It's Q shit you wouldn't understand. So like 4 whole planets have been destroyed, and all in the cold open. We watch a ship from Denovan fly into the sun. The Enterprise is hailing them and saying, "Yo, don't fly into that sun. It will probably kill you." They get a transmission
And this
of
Donovan is like, that is preferable to what is happening right now.
yeah, right. And yeah, they get a message from him that says, "Ah, finally it is gone," or something like that. "I'm free of the terrible thing." And I think McCoy turns around and goes, "Yo, Jim, isn't your brother Sam on Denovan?" And that's the cold open. Then the credits roll, and we barely have even heard of Sam Kirk before we find him dead,
Face down on the ground.
gone. Oh, you know what? I didn't even look this time. Was it Kirk with with a mustache?
Wait, God.
Was it Shatner with a mustache on?
I don't even know. I don't. That's a good question.
I really think it was Shatner with a mustache on, but it's amazing. Yeah, I mentioned it while you were gone that I don't think you and I even really talked about it because we move away from it so fast. Kirk has lost a brother. He's got it. He doesn't this is not a man who has time to grieve.
No.
Kirk's got space amoebas to fight. So there it is. That's paused. It's about there's like
That is
3 frames of it, but let's see. Do we have the IMDb for the specific episode?
Yeah, I'm looking at Memory Alpha, and Memory Alpha is all in character bullshit. And I'm like, I
Right.
don't care. Just tell me who is playing him. It says when I look at the Sam Kirk, it says like played by William Shatner and Dan Gianotte.
Okay, I think that probably is referring to TOS and then
Yeah, the
Stranger
picture
Worlds.
of him. Yeah, I've got the same picture of him on the Memory Alpha. All right, come on, IMDb.
that
I'm
looks
already
like
on the IMDb
that
for
looks
that
like
episode. I'm just trying to find it.
Shatner.
Give me a sec. Yeah, no, it is Shatner.
Okay.
All right.
It looks like Shatner.
According to IMDb, it says Bill Shatner, Captain James T. Kirk / Sam Kirk. So it's just Shatner.
All right, Shatner with a
Shatner
mustache.
Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad that's what they did. I'm so glad that's what it is. And that we spent that much time figuring that out. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they go down there and yeah, he's dead. So that's it. And then we never mention it at all. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about the fact that Kirk's nephew is on the ship slowly dying.
Yeah.
But we don't really get a specific resolution to that. We assume
His
they kill him.
sister-in-law is there for a hot minute too, and she's like, she has
Oh
enough
my
time
god, so dramatic.
to rant,
Screaming.
to scream a bunch, and then
The
die.
things
of pain.
came. The things came. They're forcing us to build ships. Don't let them escape. Yeah, she's screaming. It's awesome. Something else that I like. Go ahead.
A scene like that is part of what also makes me think that Picard probably wouldn't think about the ethics of annihilating them.
After watching this woman screaming.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't worry about it too much at that point. He'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is what they're doing."
It's so weird that the whole thing about them being individual cells in perhaps one gigantic creature that's floating around. That makes me feel like it might be like a higher, more evolved kind of thing. Like, when they didn't want to blow up the crystalline entity. Like, I feel like this might be such a unique life form. Maybe not from the galaxy, that from a science perspective.
Yeah. Except that, it lives and thrives on torture. So
causes extreme torture.
It's gotta go. Madness and death. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Madness and death. World after world falling to madness and death.
Yeah. You know what it makes me think of? Seen this concept before. Oh yeah, Star Control.
Oh.
2.
Oh yeah.
There's a race of beings in Star Control 2 called the Ors, and they talk very strangely, and like a universal translator doesn't work.
Yeah,
right.
They're the happy campers.
Yeah, it turns out they're all extra dimensional beings.
Yeah.
They're not really multiple extra dimensional beings. They're all like one extra dimensional being, and each individual Ors is just like an appendage or a finger.
Right.
Poking its way in from a different plane of reality.
It sounds almost like the Ood from Doctor Who.
The Ood?
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I know this kind of thing has shown up in Lovecraft before, too. I can't think of, like, a specific kind of thing. Maybe, was it, like, the Hounds of Tyndalos? No, those are the time travel dudes.
The Hounds of Tyndalos come out of corners.
Yeah, but also something like that. Also a little bit like the Hounds, that are, like...
They follow you through space and time.
Yeah, they're, like, extruding themselves from higher dimensions. So it's like if you're imagining, like, a 2D universe, like a flat plane, and like you come from above it and you put your fingers on it, and the creatures that exist in that 2D world don't see everything that's above them, but they see your fingers intersecting the plane of their world. So like that's what these kind of things make me think of, because it's like their consciousness, or their sort of hive mind, whatever, exists in some other kind of dimension.
Those guys have voice acting. There's voice acting in that game.
Which game?
Star Control 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, should get some of their lines. They say really good things.
Yes, of course. Difficulty. Problems are difficult. Let's be special together. Spicy games are always fun.
Yeah, really, and all of those things are not really explored in this episode. They're kind of like, it's like a giant floating brain. Okay, that's weird. Let's destroy it. I'm really hanging on the fact that they just decide the annihilation.
It's a space vampire brain.
Cloud of space vampire blobs.
Yeah.
There's something in the Call of Cthulhu, the TTRPG from the 90s. There's a lot of stuff in there from other writers and stuff that was just made up for the game, but there's a thing called the Star Vampire, and it's basically this. It's a glob. It's a glob that latches onto you and gets your nervous system from space.
Oh, word.
I love when the away team stuns the crowd of people that's running at them. I love a good AoE stunning of a bunch of hive-minded dudes. These dudes are going, get away from the fucking planet. You don't want to get infected with this, and we don't want them getting on your ship.
But they're using the agonizers on us, so we have no choice.
So we just have to swing clubs at you. Everyone's getting agonized. Yeah, that's super dramatic screaming lady, boy. Yeah, this is a people scream in pain episode again, especially Spock.
Yeah.
Because the next thing that happens is he goes down and gets infected. They discover I like the noise. I like the noises, the flapping and farting noises the blob's making, wheezing and squeaking.
It's such a cheesy, weird noise.
They are like flapping and farting and flying around like frisbees. Like these are pretty fun blobs the way they act. I don't know, did we mention that Michelle Barrett is here? Nurse Chapel is here in this episode.
Chapel, she's
Bones.
good in this episode.
Yeah.
Calling everyone dumbasses. Without actually saying it, but just like with her eyes.
Oh, fully, yeah.
Like, we blinded Spock. She's like, you couldn't wait like literally 3 more minutes for this computer results, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Very funny scene. It's a very funny sequence
Stop
of events.
flying off half-cocked, yeah.
Yeah. But she makes this face like, you blinded Spock?
She says it all with a face. She's just like, what?
Why'd you do that?
Why?
I was out of the room for 5 minutes.
It really does feel like a mother with her weariness over her toddlers who are just fuckwits.
Like, I'm so tired of this. Is there any wine?
I just went to take a shower, guys. What? Why? I love it. I love it. No, she's great. She's always great, though. Chapel has been one of the best side characters forever.
I love it when she shows up. So the blobs sting with a jellyfish sting that injects tentacles. They use the term tentacles into you.
Tendrils that like go all through your body.
Yeah, wrap themselves around your nervous system. Very insidious. We should annihilate these guys. That's terrible. They insinuate their tendrils into your nervous system. Ugh.
And
Spock's got it.
And then zap you to make you do stuff.
Yeah, and then once you're and if they have some sort of hive mind and whatever they want you to do, if you're not doing it, you get zapped with pain. Do you suppose you have to like figure it out? You have to going through your life just getting zapped with pain until you learn what not to do.
Nope, not
don't
that.
go there.
Nope.
Nope. All they can say is nope, stop. Boy.
I feel like there's a little bit more detail to it because it's, they're like, that woman's like, they want us to build ships. They've done this before. But I don't know.
They zap you if you're doing anything other than building ships.
Yeah. Or grabbing more people for the hive mind, I guess.
Right. So they have, just for fun, they have a couple big fights with Spock while he's trying to sneak off the ship because they think, that he is infected. They don't know what he's up to. And also McCoy is being really overprotective. But it turns out that he just is like, well, I'm already infected, so why don't I go down and grab one? And like, really, that was what I just said was like a whole 15 minutes of the middle of the episode is catch Spock, he's trying to escape, and then he's like, no, I'm just going to go grab one because I'm already infected.
Yeah.
This is a funny no one's communicating.
Everyone's like, oh, actually, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what Kirk says. So he grabs one and they set about trying to figure out what kills it. And, they burn it. They zap it with radiation. They're like, we got to get Spock to survive. We need the 1 million people on the colony to survive. And they have a whole conversation where it takes them way too long to figure out that it's bright light that's going to kill it.
Which confused me because they were like, we tried heat, we tried radiation. And I was like...
Neither of those caused light.
Yeah, like light is also a kind of radiation.
Not in the 60s.
Heat is technically a kind of light. It's all the radiation. But okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. It's just like.
So this is the funny scene where they blind Spock, and 2 minutes later, Nurse Chapel comes in and says, "Oh, it was just invisible ultraviolet dog whistle light. Why did you blind Spock?" Really, a very funny scene. Really good job, everyone. Yeah, no one's communicating. It's hysterical. And, I didn't mention, but they've set up a ring of satellites around the planet now that they've figured out... Well, I guess, this was sort of going on while they were figuring out... Because at first they were like, we're going to use... Well, at first they were like, we might have to kill a million people. And then they were like, well, we'll use this ring of satellites to blind a million people. And then thanks to Nurse Chapel, they're like, oh. And I guess the same, because they even said that the satellites were going to burn some kind of material to produce this blinding light. But now they've rigged the satellites so they produce dog whistle light. And everyone is saved.
Hooray.
But Spock is blind.
But Spock is blind, except
No.
the reveal at the end, nope, he's not blind. Vulcans, being superior to humans in every conceivable way.
Even their eyelids.
Even have cool inner eyelids to prevent them from being blinded by their bright Vulcan sun.
Which is so second nature to him, he forgot to mention it.
I totally forgot about the involuntary second inner eyelid. Totally forgot.
A lot of really funny stuff while Spock is wrestling. Spock is like grunting this whole episode because he's struggling with the inner pain. Great performance.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy is doing like a whole bunch of like twitching and like neck, like sort of like
neck vein contortions. He's all like tightened up.
And tensing his neck so you can feel the tendons and stuff. He's like, he's doing a convincing job of showing somebody who is like
struggling with pain.
Trying to go about his daily work without, having to just give in to this agonizing pain that he's in.
He says that pain is entirely in the mind. Do we think that's true?
Kind of.
It is your brain telling you that your body's being damaged, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, one thing that I know that is true that is like an advancement or a change, at least in a lot of medical practice lately, is pain management, pain tolerance, where it's kind of a recognized thing now. A person can be in pain even if there's nothing physically wrong with them.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And that, but it doesn't make it like any less real for that person. And so it's a very relative, subjective thing. It is all in the mind, but we have to live in our minds, so it's pretty real.
Happens to Spock a lot, or I mean, I guess maybe just this one. It happens to Spock a lot around blobs.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's true. Spock and blobs. It's like it's all about pain. Spock blobs equals pain. I was gonna say though, there's stuff about how pain is all in the mind, and I was mentioning Dune.
Oh yeah,
you got the Gom Jabbar, but there's all the in the real world there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like people do to prove that their mind over body power, like walking on
hot coals. Yeah, is that what we're talking about?
Sleeping on beds of nails.
It's Legos now. Now they walk on beds of Legos.
Shards of hot Legos.
The bed of nails isn't overcoming pain. That's body weight distribution over multiple pricks, so that doesn't actually cut you or hurt you.
No, that's true, but it's still not comfortable, and it can't feel nice. And if you don't do it right, then it will hurt you. So there definitely is an element of like mastering your own mind, mastering your body to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's not like some kind of. It's not like. It's yes, you're. It's a quote unquote trick because you're distributing your body weight, so it's not pushing. The needles aren't pushing into you.
But people do it for a reason.
Yeah, but it's all exactly. But it's also like. That's the trick, but it's also but that's also intended to be the trick. I don't know. Yeah, it's that kind of thing, and then like walking on hot coals, it's the same thing. It's like it doesn't hurt if you do it right, because if you move quickly, and the temperature of the coals is correct, your skin doesn't have time to burn.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a psychological element there of not. If I can give a personal example, my wife decided to give birth to our son without using an epidural.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Because she decided, unless I'm in a state where it's like in danger, she's like, there's really no reason for it, and she's like, and I think I can be mind over body, and generally you get slightly better medical outcomes from not having an epidural,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
in certain ways, and not having to worry about getting a C-section. So
And some of that comes from the lack, like I have words. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Some of that's going to be as well. The adrenaline and endorphins that are released during childbirth help
Yeah,
to mask
absolutely.
the pain too, because like the pain of
Absolutely.
childbirth is comparable to that of a heart attack, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but your
But it
body
was-
is fighting that. So.
Yeah, but it was definitely super painful.
Oh, I'm not pretending it's not. I have not had children, and I
Yeah.
do not intend to for reasons, and pain is one of them.
Yeah.
But that is something to bear in mind. Like there is, your body does have a natural response to try and help offset that.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as it could be.
Can't
Which
believe
is,
people
you know,
do
like
that.
at least there's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not to diminish the pain of childbirth. As a full disclosure, again, or whatever the word is, like I'm not in any way trying to diminish this. This is an awful, awful experience that lots of women do, and kudos to the ones who can put up with it. Seriously,
Yeah.
GG.
Yeah. And I mean, it worked out for us. It worked out for her.
Good.
Blur her name
Awesome.
right there.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
It worked out for Beep.
Yeah.
It worked out for her. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Scary. God. Oh my God, I would never do that on purpose.
But
Get pregnant.
no.
That's God. Dude, I mean that would have very negative effects on my psychological health.
When I was younger,
Being
and
pregnant.
when you're young and everyone's asking like, "Oh, are you gonna have kids and all that?"
Oh,
Like, 'cause I
sure.
got that a lot because
Yeah.
being a woman, you're
Yeah.
clearly my goal is to get married and have babies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah. I'd always say like, I don't know if I'm
civic
gonna birth
duty.
my own. I'm down. I was always down to adopt. I've
To
never
raise
been a
kids.
fan of the idea of actually baby birthing. Birthing
Sure.
itself is awful.
Yeah, then
And
that's what
kids
I'm
aren't
talking.
really-
Yeah, God.
Yeah, and kids aren't even people until
Congratulations
they're
to
like
everyone.
5 or 6 years old, anyways. You know what I mean? Like they're just objects until then, functionally, that you have to pay attention
Oh,
to and make sure they
no.
don't die.
That's not true.
I have never been able to connect with anyone under the age of 5. They are not people. You can't have conversations with them. They are
No,
too busy learning.
No, you can't have conversations with them, but they are people. But you definitely, you got to interact with them on a subverbal level, basically. That's basically.
and
what
I'm
it
not-
was, Yeah.
I'm not one of those folks. So to me,
Yeah.
they don't become. They aren't fully realized folks until they're actually able to like express themselves in a way that's at least useful instead of just screaming. You know what I mean? Like you gotta. There's a certain level of maturity before they're people in my head. With no
Okay.
offense to kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I won't deny that it's like, I don't know. You got to take care of them for a long time,
Yeah.
a really long time.
Yep.
My son is 9. I'm still going to be taking care of him for a long time.
At least another 10 years.
Yeah. Probably more. My parents were taking care of me in my 20s in various
Yeah.
ways.
In various
Yeah.
ways, yeah.
They weren't like feeding me dinner every night or anything like that, or doing my laundry. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The laundry machine at my parents' house, I have probably done laundry less than 40 times not at my parents' house in my entire life.
Man,
So I'm good. That's
always head back to your parents' house to do laundry, huh?
yeah, always.
Well, he's at his parents' house all the time with soap too, right? So.
Well, I mean, if I wasn't, working over there,
Yeah.
in this state,
still go back
living
for laundry?
any time I have lived in this state, I do my laundry at my parents' house. Oh, I gotta take this.
You are not ores. We are ores. Ores are happy people energy from the outside. Inside is good. So much good that ores will always germinate. Can you come together with ores for parties?
Oh, it does say in here that Shatner was definitely Samuel Kirk, equipped with great hair and a mustache. This novel portrayal marks the only time in the series that Shatner appears as anyone other than Captain Kirk.
Okay.
The Way to Eden sounds familiar. I think that one was a solid one too. I can't remember which one that is now off the top of my head.
Something about Eden?
The Way to Eden.
The Way to Eden. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with that. Is that a Star Trek episode, or are we talking about various
Yeah, season
things?
3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember season 3 as much as season 1 and 2.
I feel
The
like
Doomsday Machine. I want to see the new special effects on the Doomsday Machine.
that's the thing that eats like planets.
Yeah, that's the ice cream cone that eats
Yeah,
planets.
yeah, yeah. The ice cream cone that eats planets. Oh, I can't wait
That's
for
what
that.
it was.
Yeah, that
Way
thing
to
shows up
Eden
in
was
the animated
the hippie
series.
group that hijacked the Enterprise.
Okay, yep, yeah. There are hippies. Yeah, we didn't see
Yeah.
the hippies. We didn't see the mobsters. We didn't see the Nazis.
Oh, the mobs.
Yeah, the
planets,
hippies.
Yeah,
I think
Mobster
are it's the
Planet.
hippies that stand out to me. So
Cool.
yeah, these are the guys who I keep thinking are in like every episode. When I keep talking about like whenever they're like, oh, 10 Forward music fests, and I'm like, there's a group of people who dance and sing and stuff. These are the guys I'm thinking of. They're apparently season 3, but they keep coming to mind like now.
Okay.
Oh,
Sure.
immunity syndrome. That's another one with the giant monster. It's
Oh.
a giant amoeba. Giant amoeba. It's another blob.
Whoa! I don't remember a giant amoeba.
It's a space amoeba. It's like
Cool.
big enough to swallow the Enterprise, basically. They get stuck inside a giant space amoeba.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
I think it kind of reminded me a little bit of like it's a story in the Bible with the guy who gets eaten by the whale.
Oh, Jonah. Yeah.
Jonah. Yes.
Yeah, the people like he's on a boat and the dudes on the boat are like, we got to make a human sacrifice to calm the gods of the sea, which like, in the Bible that's frowned upon. But they made everyone draw lots and then they chucked Jonah into the sea where he was swallowed by a whale. That's fucking. I'm not sure what the moral is. I don't know if
Don't get swallowed by whales.
don't get swallowed by whales. Yeah. Did God save him because
Yeah, because
they
he prayed
shouldn't
to
have
God.
sacrificed? Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
If they're gonna sacrifice you, pray to God real quick, and he'll send a whale.
Yeah.
Comically enough, Saint and I found out a lot about old Johnny and the Whale because we're reading Moby Dick, and there's a whole huge chapter early on in that book, which is the story of Johnny and the Whale. It's much more complicated than we seem to be recalling here, but you can check out my other podcast, Maybe We'll Talk, where for season 3, Saint and I are covering The Whale, aka Moby Dick, by Herman Melville, classic American. Anyway, yeah, that. Don't throw people in the ocean. I hope I never get eaten by a whale. I think he gets out.
Yeah, he does. He's fine.
the whale vomits him up.
He is not digested by the whale. He's fine.
One of my least favorite experiences is when a video game wants me to go inside of a whale.
Yeah,
I hate it.
it's pretty terrible.
I hate having to be in a whale.
There
There's
was
always a labyrinth of guts inside the whale.
there's some cartoon I'm trying to remember that I.
Pinocchio?
Oh, it's Pinocchio. That's right. Where they're inside the whale. I was like,
Yeah, scary as fuck.
formative, scary image I had of like them being inside the whales.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, now thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense. I was like, they should be able to see the whales like ribs and stuff. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why
No.
would...
That's
it's
not what
just
he
that
does.
whale's just fucking hollow.
hollow space with air in it for everybody to hang out in.
Full of air with ribs, yeah. Yeah, tune into Maybe We'll Talk this week and hear me and Saint say basically that exact same stuff. Yeah,
But yeah.
being swallowed by something big would be pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not the least realistic thing in a cartoon about an animated
Wooden puppet.
marionette. Yeah, wooden marionette.
So that was season 1.
Yeah.
That was
We're all
season 1
done
of
it now.
TOS. Yeah, good job. Good job, guys.
All right.
Only like 30 more seasons of things. Probably more than that. At least 21 in the 90s. 21 seasons? Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of seasons in the 90s.
And there's a
Doing
lot
it.
right now. Yeah, and there's a lot out
Yeah.
in
Doing
the
this well
90s.
into our old age.
Well, we
Yeah,
had talked about it
that's
back in the
idea.
day when we first started doing this. I did the math, and it would be if we did one episode every single week without fail and never missed one, with what was out when we started, which is I think two or three seasons less than what's out now.
Yep.
It would be 17 years constant.
Yeah. And then you'd have to catch up on whatever came out in the 17 years.
Yeah, which is going to be,
Yeah, so we've got at least 3 seasons so far, because, like, I think Picard Season 3 came out since we started. So as Strange New Worlds or Discovery had their most recent season come out since we started. And now Lower Decks has got their season going on, which has been solid.
For sure, yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been solid. This season of Lower Decks has been great so far. I really like it.
I'm not sure. I don't recall if we talked about ratings of this particular episode on Friday, but I think
Let's do it now.
I think I said 9. I think I said 9 on Friday.
All right, Sam, where are you at?
I don't remember. I'll give this one a 9 too. This is one of my favorite ones.
All right, I'm gonna give it a solid 8. I like it.
Yeah,
It's good. I think there's definitely been better, but I find as well I tend to rate a little bit lower than you do in general. So
sure.
Yeah. I tend to rate high.
I like Spock grunting and twitching.
Yeah.
It's got to hit like really good for me to get a 9 or a 10. Like it's got to hit just so, and it's hard to get that.
Yeah, I mean it should be a special episode that are 9s. I feel like it might start to decline because I definitely feel like I've heard that season 3 declines in the budget that they had and the quality of the show.
I don't remember.
But I don't know.
I don't remember 3 very well. I don't think there's much of it that was good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I honestly don't know if that's something I heard somewhere or if it's even true. Or we'll find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of season 3 that I've never seen.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I know when my mother was collecting the VHS tapes back in the 80s or whatever, I think she was collecting them in order. She started getting them in order.
Oh, okay.
So by the time she got around to collecting like the 3rd season, I don't remember if she ever actually got all of them. And I know we lost a bunch of tapes at some point when we were moving. Like a box of stuff got lost in one of our house moves at some point, and there was a bunch of tapes and books in there.
Which happens. Yeah.
Well, now we have the glory of the internet.
Now we'll never need to wonder where the Star Trek tapes are again.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for watching TV, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here and talking to me about this.
I'm gonna dip. I've got work today, and my boss wants me to come in early because I can't have my schedule posted the way that it's actually gonna happen. So.
Oh, right, of course.
So I'm gonna go get ready for work, and I will see you when I see you, Dave.
Well, anyway, Thrash, have you ever seen Operation Annihilate?
I don't believe I have.
It's got amoebas or something.
Yeah,
it's got amoebas or something.
Yeah, it's got like little flying gummy dudes.
I think that they are individual cells of like a giant brain organism, but they communicate like, across, whatever the space is between them, and they function as like one mind.
You guys know Starro from DC?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
That's what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thing is almost like almost like a nanite creature, but not necessarily.
Yeah,
it converges into
one
one
organism
thing.
Yeah, it's a hive-minded colony kind of organism flying through space and killing people.
Okay.
Yeah. Operation Annihilate.
Yeah, this was this. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't really the season finale because I keep forgetting that there's like 3 different episode orders for this show. Yeah, that quality is probably not going to be doing too great.
They're going to have their primary import for the next 10 years is going to be psychiatrists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychiatric drugs. Yeah, I know you love the blobs. I
I
love the
love
hive.
blobs. Yeah.
I love
Do you love the hive
minds.
mind?
Yeah. It's a giant sadistic brain flying through space, taking people over.
But it does need starships.
It does. It can't just fly through space on its own. Not like like Starro. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
right, yeah.
for some reason I thought that they could just through space.
Just float. I sort of thought that too. I thought it would be like a big brain kind of floating through space, devouring planets as it went.
Yeah.
But it needs to enslave the people and taunt them with terrible pain and make them build ships for it. Funny.
Yeah.
They ended on a good. If that was like how it was like aired, then that was a good one to end
Yeah,
off
it
on.
actually was. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like,
Although,
please.
I'm sorry, really quick. I was gonna say, although I probably would have held like the cliffhanger of Spock getting his vision back until maybe like the next episode for the next season.
It's a little funny that they did that to make McCoy feel bad and make us be like, oh no, and then at the end, and then really, really nonchalantly at the end of the episode, oh well, Vulcans have special eyelids that
Well,
protect
Vulcans-
us from.
Vulcans, we have a really bright sun, so sometimes we have this thing in our eyes and we can just stare right at the sun and it's totally cool. They're all like, wait, we didn't need to blind Spock. We just dumped him in there before we bothered to look at the results. And
The timing is so funny.
yeah, Spock is like, oh no, it's cool. I was in so much pain.
Like, it's
This
fine,
is
man.
fine.
This is fine. Yeah.
This was a good trade as far as I'm concerned. Like, it hurt so bad. I kind of want to get to. I'm kind of excited to get to DS9, to be perfectly honest, because like DS9 is always one of those shows that I heard so much about from everybody, and I only watched like little bits of pieces of it here and there, and
It's really, yeah.
I always wanted to have motivation to go back because it seems like it's probably like the most diverse cast.
Probably. Well, I
Like-
mean, of the 90s, certainly.
Oh yeah.
And it, boy, it's real different. I mean, it really is structured like a different kind of show. And
Yeah.
especially towards the end, it gets very, not non-episodic, but very much that the episodes continue into each other, like ongoing plot lines, which, TNG obviously and TOS
And,
are very, very encapsulated episodic.
There were other 90s shows that I remember that I watched that did that too, kind of similar to DS9, where they would have like 2 or 3 episodes that were like episodic, that had nothing to do with anything. That were kind of like Monster of the Week or
And then
Plot of
Krychek
the
would
Week.
show up.
Yeah, and then you'd have like 3 episodes in a row that were like solid plot, and you needed to watch one to the next. And then you'd have another episode that was like a break.
Yep.
Because you'd have like 24 episodes for the season, so you needed like some filler. Because if you just tried to do the plot by itself, you'd be done in like 12 episodes or something.
That's exactly what X-Files was like.
X-Files like that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like that. Hell, even shows that I think of from like the 2000s that I watched, which is like probably the last time that I watched much of
Cool
like
way to do
network
shit.
TV. That's very common. Yeah, person of interest when I was watching Person of Interest like
Does
that too. It was very episodic at first, and then it kind of split up into like this overarching plot / episodic, and then at the very end it was all just episode to episode plot.
Did that kind of have to do with a big evil artificial intelligence?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one. That was into the 2000s, but that was a cool show.
Yeah. But yeah, Person of Interest was like one of those shows that had like a lot of really good actors and like a really awful lead.
Was the lead the guy from Lost?
No, the lead was Jim Caviezel. Maybe he was in Lost. I don't know. He was the guy who played Jesus in The Passion.
Oh my, that's not the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he's.
What do you think about Jack?
No, his name isn't Ben Linus, I don't think. Is it Ben Linus? The guy, bad guy.
The real bad guy that like screwed over everybody at every turn. Yeah, his name was Benjamin Linus. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Hell of a memory, dude. Yeah.
Well, he had two. Oh, he was something. He was Henry Gale at first, is what he. That's what I was thinking of. But
yeah.
Michael Emerson is the actor.
Oh yeah, Michael Emerson is
Yeah.
a person of interest, and and he's the other main lead character who's
Okay.
the actual
Good. I'm glad
good
that he
one.
wasn't the bad one.
Is the actual good one that you care about. The other guy,
Cool.
Jim Cavazzo, was playing like a sort of generic CIA
Sure.
man who had like a sort of lot of generic white man angst about killing people for the CIA.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, Michael Emerson's character had created a computer to fight terrorism,
Okay.
and he plugged in literally every surveillance camera in
Oh,
the United States into it,
Yep.
and
that'll
more from around the world as much as you could get. So it was a huge, powerful superintelligence, and it was a really interesting thing because it was like one of those shows where it was like one of those things where it was like this thing predicts crime. It doesn't predict terrorism; it predicts crime. Terrorism is a political definition.
Okay.
So, we had to reprogram it after we first found it to predict crime to just kind of focus on these specific kinds of crimes. But he decided that he would still get the output of the regular crimes that it predicted, like Minority Report style.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he'd get this CIA ex-hitman to intervene in these situations for him to stop the crimes in advance. And it was sort of a generic kind. Well, aside from that little twist, it was kind of a generic, like spy thriller kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, until like the third season, where all of a sudden there was a second godlike AI that had no restrictions or shackles on it because it had been created by a rival organization, and suddenly it was this crazy, like post-human, transhuman, like godlike AIs fighting for literal control of the world through human proxies.
Wow.
It was like this real kind of high concept kind of thing.
Like Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, it was kind of Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
It really was.
Yep.
But it was good, and it had some good actors. It had Michael Emerson. It had Taraji P. Henderson on it for a little while before her character got killed.
I like Michael Emerson. I'm gonna check that out. I'll put that on my radar.
It had what's her face? Amy Ackers, something like that.
I don't remember.
She was good.
Okie dokie then. Thank you for hanging out with the Least Ready Room Season 1. That was it. Operation Annihilate. Hooray. Thank you, Thrash. Thrash ended up being on there. So, yeah, sub-talking about a person of interest with Thrash and Saint as a little bonus. And, yeah, we may have a couple more. I got a couple more things I gotta talk to these guys, things we might watch and react to. But, yeah, Season 2 will be coming in 2025. Hope you had a good year, motherfuckers, because I didn't. Let's see what happens next year. It'll probably be terrible. Everyone loves a real optimistic guy, right? Everyone likes a misanthrope, right? Isn't that what they say? So anyway, there was a question of the week. It was, what is your favorite season of Star Trek? Any series, and why? Because, whatever, we just watched a season. What do people think? Pete says, the last season of TNG. It was all I could focus on at the time. Yeah, I liked it. I did say season 6 of DS9, but I mean, you got to give season, like TNG really came together. It started out a little rough. We'll get there. Saint says, this is exactly what popped into my head too. I think they broke space-time or blew up an alternate dimension or something every single episode of season 7. We'll find out. Something like that, yeah. Weebs says TNG season 4 because of Data's Day, which is great, and Remember Me. Also, some pivotal Klingon shit happens, and we see Cardassians for the first time, maybe. Which is also an episode with some good character development for O'Brien. Oh, yeah, it is. Also, Nth Degree, where Barclay becomes super genius. Yeah, very solid season. Yeah. Toronto, who is Chris, says the first season of Lower Decks. And History Buff, I guess, wanted to just... Well, his answer is TNG, but he just wants to talk about TNG a little bit here. So, he says... for me, it always has been The Next Generation, just because I love how Picard seems to want to write his own rules of the book. Not to mention that Q, as much as I despise the character, really as a character that is so complex that you can't help but wonder what he's going to try to do next. I feel like I didn't parse and pronounce and emphasize some of those words correctly. Let me try again. Not to mention that Q, as much as I despise the character, there should be a comma there, history buff. I mean, don't let me tell you how to write, but I mean, for as far as the way I'm parsing the sentence. Anyway, not to mention that Q, as much as I despise the character, really is a character that is so complex that you can't help but wonder what he's going to try to do next. And then, of course, you have the Borg. And it's so amazing that they're pretty much based off of, in my opinion, what we all can be like today, meaning that we're all attached to technology, which is what they essentially are. They're just technology in and of itself. It's fascinating. I mean, I can go into more detail about why I like TNG, but there's not enough time to eat and contemplate this stuff. History Buff is often eating large meals as opposed to give it. Anyway, thanks, History Buff. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to everyone on the Discord, everyone who answers these questions. You can hop on this Discord. You can get an invite at koidk.tv, where I have some other stuff, social media and stuff, but I got to update that and do some stuff. And yeah, man, I don't know how to use the computer or the internet anymore, but making podcasts is fun, so we'll keep doing it in 2025. Thanks for being here. And there's no question of the week because I don't know when this podcast is going to be on again. Soon. Within weeks. Within a month. It'll happen in January. It's like only halfway through December. I'm having holiday freakouts. I gotta go do some errands. But I'm almost done. I got like all my holiday stuff, like all my shit. All my shit is like done. I'm done. I got one more show today. And then we're closing the books on all that stuff. And see you in 2025, motherfuckers.
Anyway, yeah. Operation
Annihilate. They annihilated that whole race of beings, that's for sure.
That was...
Kirk was like, fuck you guys. Yeah, if it was Picard, he might have been like, first he would have done that thing like they do in Independence Day. It's like, can there be peace between us?
We can't just...
No peace.
Oh, and that was Brent Spiner.
Nuke
Spiner, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking nuke.
Oh,
yeah,
and then bastards.
Nuke the bastards, and then Picard, and then Picard would have deployed the satellites to shine all like the infrared light on them.
Once they fucked up Data, and it would have been Data if it was Picard. Data would have been in pain somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Mm-hmm. I've never experienced pain, but this is pain.
I would think it would be Worf, and Worf would be like,
that would be good.
On. Yeah. Pain only gets me going, baby.
He'd be fighting back like Spock, yeah.
Yeah. But like doing the opposite of Spock, instead of being all like cold, he'd be all amped up. He'd be like, it's like, you call that pain?
Man.
I can see Worf doing that, like, you call that agony. I've had worse agony on my birthdays. Running the gauntlet.
Misery, whoa.
And this is like the agony sticks turned up to only like 3, man. Come on. Yeah, this race would not have survived if they'd reached Kronos.
Yeah. They would just make the Klingons bigger and madder.
Here is bright and smooth. The other place is hurt or's too much tired or keeping together. Other place is frumple. Ors are here now, but almost not yet. Soon ors are really here. You are help ors with party. Ors looking for you and find you. So much joy. Now, smooth place all the time. And after now, never going back to outside. Never.